Aloha and shalom. So we have arrived at the new moon. And for those of you who are new to these activations, the moon is only used as a measurement of time. So these activations don't actually have anything to do with the moon, other than we use it as a measurement of time to track these 4 quarters within a monthly cycle. So this reading is for everybody. It's for the collective consciousness. And so just as it's for the whole, it's also for the individual. So the new moon activation is always about a new beginning, right? What is the new moon really showing us? The light of the moon reflects the light of the sun, reflects the light of the one. So looking at what the moon is saying about what's going on inside of ourselves, we can see that we're approaching a new beginning right now. And the Jewish New Year is actually tomorrow, Rosh Hashanah. And technically, it's not the Jewish New Year. It's actually the anniversary of the birth of mankind, of Adam. And this is not just for Jewish people, but for all people. So considering the lunisolar calendar that the Jewish and the Egyptian people use, we are all about to experience a chance to capitalize on some powerful energies incoming right now. So tomorrow's Rosh Hashanah. It starts tomorrow evening when the sun goes down. And right now we are at the new moon. So this is a huge new beginning. While you guys are tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from. Just comment below and let me know, where are you in the world? Where are you tuning in from? Leave a comment below. Miami, okay. I'm tuning in from Sedona, Arizona. Where are y'all tuning in? We have Bill in Miami, Katya in Virginia, Margie, I call my best friend Margie, her name's Margaret, at Margie, also in Sedona, Ben in Beantown, Serafina in Wisconsin, Lara Nancy, Sister from PA, Pennsylvania Mountains, Rochester, New York, Burlington, Vermont, St. Louis. Wow, you guys, you're tuning in from all over, calling in all of the energy from all of these beautiful spaces you're tuning in from. We're creating a web right now, a web of light, a network. And as we all tune into the archetypes or faces of the universal mind that we all share, we're bringing in that energy together and uniting there in that space. So it doesn't really matter, right, where we are. In this space, we are one. In this timeless place, we are one. And so it's cool to see that we are bringing that oneness to this web. So wherever we are, we're uniting all of these spaces, all of these beautiful places. Gaia, yeah. Awesome, you guys, keep it coming. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Let's bring the energies of all of our hometowns together tonight. So I'm just shuffling you guys into the deck. Go ahead and let go of whatever thoughts or heavy emotions maybe you've been carrying all day, all week, all month. Maybe there's something you've been carrying for the whole year. Maybe this whole lifetime. And maybe it's something that's subconscious, so we can just, for this moment, ask that whatever is in the way of us receiving the fullest light right now for the highest good of one, we ask that that be set aside. We're asking Great Spirit, God, Hashem, Creator, Krishna, whatever you want to call this, we're asking that our heavy thoughts and heavy emotions be set aside for this moment, because we're doing the good work together. We're doing powerful work for the one. And because of the intelligent design of the divine, we are going to have this prayer answered because it's for our highest good as one. And so if it's in the name of the highest good as one, you can consider it done. And when you let it all go and you feel open and ready to receive this transmission tonight, go ahead and connect with the deck however you know how. Use your imagination. It's all mind. You can send a thread of light from your third eye to the deck, from your inner eye to the deck, from your heart to the deck, from your stomach, your sacral center, or even your solar plexus. If there's any particular place on your body that you want to send a thread of light from to the deck, you could do that. Just some different ideas. You can pretend you're here right now. You can pretend that you're shrinking and then you're teleporting over to the deck and then dissolving into it. I don't care. Do whatever you do to creatively connect, because it's all about imagination. For those of you just tuning in, leave a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from in the world. All right, so what is something that we're ready to say goodbye to? A lesson we've been going through perhaps all year, and we are now closing that up. But there's like a little final piece of this, right, that still needs to be done. That's what I'm feeling. I want to ask, who is the card, who is the face of the one that's going to show us a message about the final loose ends that need to be tied up? And what is our new focus for this month? Now that we are here with the new moon, this new monthly cycle, what is the focus for this new month? But keeping in mind this Rosh Hashanah, that it's the anniversary of the birth of humanity, so it pertains to us all. It's actually a more Kabbalistic holiday, I would say, than a Jewish holiday. It's a scientific sort of a concept, right? It's a technology that we can all tap into. And what it's all about is this whole new beginning that's going to set the stage for the rest of the year. So this card is not just going to show us what is the focus for this month, but it's also going to show us the blueprint that's going to be the foundation for the rest of the year ahead. Okay, let's begin. So the loose ends that we're tying up right now, the thing we've been working on for so long. Page of Cups. Oh, this is interesting. I'm seeing a lot of things coming up for this one. And feel free to comment and let me know how this resonates with you or what you see. So the Page of Cups is the openness of heart, the one who has a message of the heart, who's either going to give that message of the heart or receive a message from the heart. But the point here is openness. Openness to be this transmitter of love, sweetness, dreaminess. And so we've been going through a really tough year. We've been going through a lot. And so it's been necessary to do all that we can to keep an open mind, keep an open heart in a time where it's the hardest. And if you look at this a little more deeply, metaphysically, you can see that, of course, we're leveling up. It's easy to keep our hearts open when everything's light and fun, but this year has been full of challenges, really intense challenges for the individual and the collective. And so we've been called to challenge ourselves, to stay positive, to stay open to receiving a message of love behind all of this darkness and intensity that's unfolding. And to also understand that we are a part of that unfolding, that the message has to come through us. We are the vehicles for the expression of this higher love. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the one we've been waiting for. We're here now. And so we've been really working on holding it down like pillars of light as we go through these most intense times of transformation together. Our world is greatly changing right now. And so in regard to this being something we need to tie up, what I'm seeing is it's time for us to first acknowledge that this has even been happening. And in that acknowledgement, we kind of sealed the deal. we fulfill that last step in the process. We've been so in it, we haven't had a moment to go, oh, good job. Oh, good job, world. Oh, good job, me. I've been doing a good job. It's just been go, 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 one thing after the next. And so it's like, gosh, another layer of my heart has to open and another layer of my heart has to open. And it's been so much work just keeping our heads above water. It's been so much work to keep our hearts open through just one challenge. And just when we think we're catching our breath, another one hits us. But it's time to say, wow, like, we're doing pretty dang good through these hard times. We got this. And now we can say, I've locked this in. It's not like I have to try so hard anymore to keep my heart open, because I've been going through this process so much of pushing through the challenges and keeping my heart open that now it's really being ingrained in me. It's really being imprinted within my subconscious. It's becoming natural. This is just the way. This is just the way now. And not that it's going to end. We're going to continue to be pushed more and more to our limit, because that's how we expand. But it's just going to get easier and easier because it becomes more natural. It's less of a strain for us. We're not resisting the process so much because we have no choice but to accept it. And this has always been the truth, but now it's becoming more clear than ever because things have intensified so greatly, right? The great quickening, this shift that's taking place, has called upon the power that's always been within us. It's activated this program within us. And so now we're not going to go, oh my goodness, another challenge. Oh, whoa, woe is me. We're like, okay, yeah, cool, bring it. Okay, got it. I got this. I'm just going to get through it. Okay, next. We're in this natural flow with the challenge now. We are warriors. But it's important to pause and acknowledge that we're doing that. And to say, good job, me, good job, us. Because if we always just go, 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 we're going to burn out. Okay, Page of Cups. We have opened our hearts. We have opened our collective heart to a whole new level. What is the next card? What's the focus for this month? That's going to be the blueprint for the rest of the year. Major Arcanum card, the Hierophant, right at 111 viewers right now, 111. We have the Hierophant, and this guy came up. He came up in our past cycle. So that's really funny. I'm trying to remember if it was our last new moon, but it was in this past cycle, and it was all about activating the inner teacher, because we're about to have some serious work to go through. In fact, I think it was more recent even than the last new moon. He just came up recently. It was all about activating this inner teacher, fine-tuning the heart's compass, so that when the work inevitably comes, this hard work that we're about to face in the new year in order to crystallize all that we've learned, right? We will have activated the heart's compass, so we will be able to get through this next stage with grace and with ease, with clarity of mind, and without so much chaos and trying to decipher what is true from what is false. That's what the Hierophant is all about. So this is setting the blueprint for the rest of the year. The Hierophant is the inner teacher. But not just the inner teacher, it's the expression of the inner teacher through us. Five senses. 4 elements expressed through the fifth one, that's you. 5 points, a star, that's what you are. And the way that we activate our heart's compass is by finding this divine blueprint that exists back of all things and within us. Finding that divine proportion all around and within us, so that we can truly see the oneness of all things. And when you can see that blueprint all around and within you, when you can see that divine ratio, divine proportion all around you and within you, then you hold any statement up to that, any idea, any concept, and you know if it's true or if it's not. You know where it stands in reflection of the truth. So you don't need to look outside of you for this code or this divine proportion. It's within you. Then the world becomes a little less confusing, right? It's like right now we feel overwhelmed by all the information, the media, the news sources, what's real, what's not. Go within, because you know the truth. And sometimes we're not meant to know the answer in that moment. Sometimes there's a truth that's waiting to find us, that's waiting to be extracted behind all of our struggling to find the answer or determine some conclusion about any sort of situation. Sometimes it's not so much about the conclusion as it is what that frustration in trying to reach the conclusion is reflecting to you. And this is so important right now to remember that there's a lot of the time in life we won't know the answer. And it won't do us any good to sit there and feel helpless, first of all, and stress out and become frustrated over not knowing the answer. That's when we have to take it back to the feeling and ask, okay, well, what frequency am I carrying right now as I'm so confused and frustrated and desperate to get to some sort of a conclusion? Bring it back to the feeling. What energy am I carrying right now? Because that is what's going to be reflected back to me. The universe does not speak in language like we do. It speaks in symbols, in frequency, in feeling. So anytime you feel like you're starting to spiral into this frustration, not knowing what's real, what's true, what's right, take it back to the feeling. And when you can master bringing your frequency back to center, back into balance, that's when you'll be doing all that you came here to do. That's when you'll really be living your purpose. That's when you'll really be that vessel for divine expression to come through, for the inner teacher to come through. Because if you can be in your center in this way, it puts you in your heart of hearts. And from there, you are the ultimate expression of the inner teacher. And isn't that ironic? It doesn't take words to get there. It doesn't take rocket science to express this wisdom of this inner teacher. So ultimately, in any moment, we can best embody this inner teacher simply by returning to our center, returning to our hearts, and as I was receiving a phone call, being an expression of the heart space. That doesn't, I keep getting a phone call. That doesn't take effort. That doesn't take, you don't need to strain. You don't need to try so hard. Let it go. When you're not coming to a conclusion, you're not finding the answer. It's because you're not meant to in that moment. But when you come back to your center, you will find the truth. You will know the truth. You will feel the truth. So this being the card from the new moon, which is ultimately going to set the blueprint for the rest of the year, is telling us, tune in to the inner teacher. Refine your heart's compass. The 5 comes before the 6. The 6 is the lovers, aka the 2 paths. And it's all about the challenges and the choice points, the fork in the road that we inevitably will come to. So there you can begin to see why the Hierophant comes before the 6 or the 2 paths or the choice point. The Hierophant comes first because we won't know which way to go or what decision to make, what choice to make, if we don't have that confidence in that inner teacher, if we haven't fine-tuned our heart's compass. Ultimately, we're always going to come to those crossroads. We're always going to come to this point where we have to make a decision to go this way or that, right? We live in a world of duality. So how do we transcend that to see through the lens of oneness? By really having fine-tuned our heart to be able to perceive the truth. And ultimately, when we come to that crossroads, when we come to those points where we have to make decisions, there's always more than one correct decision, right? It's like, oh, I don't know, I could go this way and that could be great, or I could go this way and that could be great. And ultimately it's going to be whatever you make it, whichever way you go. So it doesn't really matter about the where or the when as much as it matters about the tuning into the truth, which is timeless. So if we focus on this now, tuning into our heart and the truth, then when we come to these choice points, we will feel confident and prepared. We won't hesitate. Because sometimes decisions are need to be made quickly under pressure, especially in a time like this where so much is shifting and changing and the quickening, right? And so we have to be so ready. We have to be so sure of our truth. Our foundation of truth has to be so strongly established within us, within our hearts and our minds, that when we come to the choice point, we don't dwell there for too long or stress about it or worry about it or ask 5 million people about which way we should go. We know the way to go because there's only ever one that is for the highest good of all as one. So if we can tune into the highest good right here, right now, then anytime we come to a crossroads, we will feel the frequency of which path to take because we will feel it matching the frequency that is stable in our hearts, that balance stable within. If you close your eyes and imagine coming to a crossroads, right, a fork in the road, if you have this frequency in you so strongly, you're tuned into that frequency in your heart, you're carrying that balance and aware of it, then you come to this fork in the road, you will feel outside of, the ego mind, the monkey mind trying to make a million decisions why you should go this way, but also a million decisions why you should go that way and just confusing you. If you just close your eyes and tune into that frequency that you've been nurturing because of this, right? Then you will know which way to go. It will be clear. Another thing that comes with the Hierophant is not judging something right away as old school, dogma, religion, or new age, fluff. Don't be so quick to judge information as old school or new age because then you're falling for the trap of judgment and you're closing up to seeing the truth that ultimately lies within all things. It's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of being receptive. Because if we're so quick to judge it, then we miss out on possibly extracting a really great realization that we could have come to had we not judged. So for example, if information comes up that you typically would have just judged as old school or religious, ask yourself, outside of that judgment and outside of your preconceived notion of it, how can the information coming to you, however true or false you want to judge it as, how can it be helpful? For example, let's say someone's saying something that you disagree with. You could ultimately just shut them down and judge them or even walk away from them. Or even though the information is false, you can get over this need to be right or judge and see that maybe there's pain behind what this person's saying. And then you tune into your heart and you actually stay there and open up deeply with this person. And perhaps you have an enlightening dialogue and you both learn something in the end, right? Miracles happen. Miracles follow situations like that. When you open up your heart instead of quickly judging and turning away and closing up, miracles happen beyond our judgments. Okay, so again, with New Age stuff, before you judge somebody as just like a crystal-loving hippie, for example, ask maybe why they're doing what they're doing and why is it working for them? Why are they happy? Or why are you so bothered by it? Because the feelings behind the information, the seeds behind the fruits that are the thoughts, right? Because the thoughts are just the effect of a cause that's inner, it's within. So if we could look to that cause and not so much the effect and the concrete stuff and the words and the stuff that's coming out, if we could look behind them and see where it's coming from, we might just get somewhere. So look deeply. This is a time to really look deeply, feel deeply with your heart. Look with your inner eye, not with just with these eyes. But really tune in to what's going on behind what you see with these eyes. What's going on behind people's words. Even if it's just a moment where you pause and then you ultimately come to the same decision, at least you took that moment to pause and you did your best to reach a new level of circumspection, which is ultimately accessing that inner sage or hermit, right? if you at least try to be open up your mind a little more, open up your heart a little more. At least you tried. So pause, give yourself a little space around each of your thoughts, around each of your words. Slow it down a bit, because that will assist you in tuning inward to your heart's compass and getting really confident with that connection, so that when we ultimately walk the road of seemingly duality in this, on this physical plane, we will have prepared ourselves, not in all the right ways, in the one right way, by tuning in to the heart, the inner teacher. I'm going to pull one more card. What's the biggest challenge for us right now? Something that we need to make peace with right now, right now, so that we can move ahead with this cycle. What's a challenge? What's a struggle for us collectively? The biggest struggle for us right now, biggest frustration. Once we release this, we will have all the energy we need to quantum leap into this cycle. Woo! There it is. Woo! There it is. So we actually, the death card was our class that we did this week. If you guys don't know, I do teach tarot classes. Private message me if you're interested. They happen live on Zoom and they're all recorded for your convenience. So this week was the death card, aka the Reaper, all about transformation and rebirth. And this card also came up this past cycle. Both of these came up. So it's just kind of solidifying what we've been going through, making things even clearer. So this is our biggest struggle right now, is the change we've been going through, and fully opening to that change and accepting it and assisting this inevitable change. We already know what this is. I know you're all going, okay, I know what this is in my life. We're all going through a huge shift collectively and individually in each of our lives. So much going on. All of my friends, all my family, my clients, everybody is going through such an intense transformation right now. So it's clear. We know what it is. And this is just telling us that it's time to really just fully accept it. Because if we don't allow that old part of ourselves to die, we won't have our fullest power and energy to plow forth with this new energy that we're trying to embody and express. So it's whatever I've been resisting that I know is trying to change. Whatever process of transformation I've been struggling with, it's time to really look at that, sit with it. And although we've been doing that, bring more awareness into the process tonight and go, I'm looking at my challenge, and now I know it's fully time to let go and accept this. It's almost like we only need to just seal it. Say one sentence to show the universe, I'm with it. I'm consciously participating right now. And I'm fully claiming that in this moment. Declaring it out loud, write it down on paper, make a little altar for it. Anything you can do in the physical realm to begin to crystallize this right away, to claim this rebirth. Okay, so this is the struggle. This is the final struggle right now that's going to help us free up our energy once we just accept it. And most of our being has already accepted whatever this change is we're going through. We already have accepted it, but now it's like really saying bye to that old part. This death card is always showing us how important it is to not only honor birth and new life, but to honor death and endings. Because the more fully we can honor and respect and ritualize the end, the more fully we can open up to and honor the new beginning. it's sort of like in a video game where like you leave some golden nuggets behind and you have to go back later to get them. It's like, why have to go back? Let's get them all now. Let's do this right. Let's close it up right. Let's do everything we can do. Let's not rush through this ending, but let's make sure we really are honest with ourselves. As we've just gone through a huge transformation, we're still going through it. So let's really look at what that is and say, I see you, process that's taking place. I honor you. I'm acknowledging just how big this shift has been. And if there's any little parts that maybe I rushed through, I'm going to just sit with that tonight. And I'm going to make those final adjustments. And that also looks like if there was any harshness around this transformation and ending, to try your best to smooth that out. Rosh Hashanah and the holidays that follow all this month, it's like a 4-holiday cycle. It's all part of one transformation. It's all about forgiveness and repentance. And those things, when we immediately judge them as just religious concepts, we shut down the ability to be able to heal in some really miraculous ways. That's my boy. So we don't want to just dismiss these processes of forgiveness and repentance. For example, someone in the New Age community might say, what's there to forgive? Everything's already forgiven, you know? Or someone might say that's just, too much of a religious concept. There's nothing that needs to be forgiven. But ultimately, it's all about our own minds. It's not like there's some God waiting to punish us. It's about asking ourselves, looking within and saying, what do I feel I need to forgive for myself? How can I forgive myself? Certain ways maybe I've been punishing myself, even unconsciously doing so. How can I really look at that and see that maybe there is more forgiveness I can bring to myself? Or, for example, let's say you had an argument with your brother or your sister, but they're my siblings, so it's fine, they'll just get over it. Yeah, but if you can bring in an opportunity for more forgiveness, there can be more healing, more heart opening, more of a deepening of the connection between you, which ultimately heals lifetimes, heals our ancestors. So no, you don't need to do this, but forgiveness is a divine concept. When you look at it metaphysically, what it does is it opens doorways of opportunity for the one, for the highest good of the one. So there are many different videos you can watch online, Kabbalistic videos, or look up articles of the Kabbalistic concept of forgiveness. You can look up Teshuva, Teshuva, and that will really give you an idea about what this time of year is really about, beginning with Rosh Hashanah. And then repentance, making things right. This is also a metaphysical concept. It's about neutralizing the negativity of the past, neutralizing bad things that we might have done, things that don't feel so good, things that were contributing to low frequencies. For the one, it's not just ourselves. Like, these are opportunities for the one. So we can see how if we correct our behaviors, or if we give charity, for example, is a very obvious example, it makes up for maybe some things that we did that weren't for the highest good of the one in the past. It's simply an energetic matter. Look at it this way. If you did things that weren't for the highest good of the one, and you took energy from the one, maybe you stole or you hurt somebody, whatever it was, that was like taking from the collective pot, right? And now it's time to put back into that pot. Now it's time to give back, put back into the pot, and make up for what you did. It's a very simple concept. I mean, even a child can understand this. You have to give more than you take. You have to give more than you take. We move through this life like robbers, like energetic robbers, just drinking this water, smelling that flower, eating this food, just taking advantage of all of our relationships, and just like we're on autopilot. But we can call in our presence, more space for gratitude. And before we smell a flower, just pause and give thanks first to the source. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to smell this flower, and I would like for this pleasure to move through me and come back to you, return to the source. It takes one moment to do this little ritual in your mind and watch how it enhances your experience. And you can literally do this all day. You know, Hasidic Jewish people have a lot of these rituals where they, and a lot of cultures have this, where they pray over everything, a sip of water, washing hands, food, you know, and it's all day. And some people look at that and they go, that's extreme. That's old school. And it's like, well, let's consider it from a Kabbalistic perspective, from a scientific perspective even. What is the ritual that's happening behind all of those processes? Bringing thanks into everything we do, sanctifying the seemingly mundane experiences of our lives. That's wise. This is why a lot of famous Kabbalists, they adopted a lot of the Hasidic Jewish rituals because there was a science to it and they saw that. And they wanted to get into that and bring more magic into their lives. So it's not about just taking the blessings, but returning them. You know, they say we're supposed to be like the Creator. How do we be like the Creator? Well, we have to attune our frequency to this divine vibration, right? And the Creator is benevolent, all compassionate, virtuous light, right? It's the all virtuous light of compassion. And so if we want to be like that, we have to see that it truly is all about giving. The Creator gave everything to make this life, to make us. But the Creator doesn't receive except through us. So how can we be more like the Creator and be giving, even through our receiving? Be giving, because the Creator only gives. So how can we redirect our giving and our receptivity to be for the One? That's really what this High Holy Day is all about. So check it out. We had 2 major Arcanum cards and a court card. Page of Cups. Okay? So remember this struggle right now. If there was any part of you that was resisting the change or maybe rushing through it, just slow down, honor this ending, make the best of it so that you don't move forward with even a little bit, because measurement doesn't matter. Measurement doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how big or small. Energy is it's one. So we don't want to move forward with resentment, with anger, with harshness. We want to move forward with grace and ease and feel like we did our best. You know when you rush through something and you're like, oh man, I wish I didn't do that. I wish I took my time. I wish I was a little more graceful about that process. We don't want to feel that guilt. Guilt and shame are the lowest frequencies. The lowest frequencies. They're so painful and they take away from us so much that we could instead be redirecting all that energy. We could be redirecting toward the highest good. So don't move forward in a way that's going to create more shame or guilt later. If you guys know the 6 of Wands, this card is all about victory, right? There's like a man on his horse with his wand and he's all victorious and people are cheering him on, but there's one man looking at him with a sour face. And that man looking at him in that way is representing our negative karma that will come and kick us off that horse if we don't get to that victory in a way that is righteous and true. So if we cut corners, we will be kicked off that horse. We will not be as victorious as we potentially could have been if we did things right. So let's do whatever we can right now to assist in the natural process of the change that's trying to take place through us individually and collectively. Even looking into the future of how we're going to feel once this is all done, because that could give some hints, right? Let's make sure that we get there to the other side, to the new side, with confidence and knowing that we did our best. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the reading. We had the Page of Cups, the Hierophant, and Death. Thank you for opening this portal with me for the new moon. If you know of anybody who would appreciate this message or even help to contribute to this portal, somebody with a great light that you know, that you love, that you appreciate, go ahead and share this with them. Maybe share it to your favorite light worker groups or meditation groups, self-love, symbolism, tarot, divination, whatever. anywhere you think that this message could be appreciated so that we can get more lovely beings to open this portal with us, expand it even further, and help to activate this code that just came in. And if you don't know, now you know. This is my book. It's called The Royal Path. It's all about understanding the tarot as much more than a deck of cards. Understanding the tarot really as a collection of faces that exists within your own self. Tapping into this archetypal alliance that lives within you and is ready to assist you in each moment. So if you're interested, go ahead and private message me. And again, I'd love to see more of you in the weekly class. We do have a private group called The Royal Path on Facebook. So you can go ahead and join that and see what a lot of the students from the class have to share. And there's just a fantastic community in there. So feel free to add yourself to the group. And we also have a private group called Shabbat Crew, SHABBAT Crew. And in that one, I share every Shabbat, every Friday night, I share about the Kabbalistic understanding of the Torah portion of that week. Share my favorite articles, videos, things like this. And tomorrow's Rosh Hashanah, so I'll be sharing a lot in there. I've already been sharing a lot all week. So if that interests you, the Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, go ahead and join that. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful new moon, new beginning within. And I will see you next week for the first quarter to see where we're at. Blessings. Peace.